Imagine waking up to a mirror-still alpine lake outside your window, snow-capped peaks glowing pink in the morning light, and the only sound is silence so complete it feels like the world has paused just for the two of you. That is Switzerland. Not the Switzerland of postcards, the real one, the one that makes couples fall in love all over again. Today, we're going deep into the most romantic destinations in one of the most beautiful countries on Earth. Whether you're planning a honeymoon, an anniversary, or simply an escape, this is your guide. Grindelwald. If Switzerland had a crown jewel for couples, Grindelwald would be it. Tucked into the Bernese Oberland region and sitting directly beneath the dramatic north face of the Eiger, one of the most legendary mountain walls in the world, Grindelwald is a village that feels entirely removed from modern life. The streets are narrow and lined with dark timber chalets. Window boxes overflow with geraniums in summer. In winter, the whole valley turns into a world of white so clean and so still that conversation naturally drops to a whisper. The first cliff walk is the experience no couple should miss. A suspended walkway bolted into the rock face at 2,168 meters, it stretches along the mountain with open drops below and panoramic views of the Eiger, Munch, and Jungfrau peaks stretching across the horizon. It is one of those rare experiences where both people in a relationship simultaneously run out of words. That shared silence, that mutual overwhelm, is the currency of genuine romance. For accommodation, the mountain hotels here sit at elevations accessible only by gondola. Arriving by cable car to a hotel that exists above the clouds, with the village lights twinkling in the valley far below, is an arrival experience unlike anywhere else in the world. Grindelwald is not trying to be romantic, it simply cannot help it. Lucerne. Lucerne is Switzerland's most effortlessly beautiful city, and for couples it operates like a dream you don't want to wake from. The old town sits on the shores of Lake Lucerne, wrapped around a medieval waterfront that has barely changed in 500 years. The Chapel Bridge, the Kapellbrücke, is Europe's oldest covered wooden bridge, stretching across the Reuss River with painted panels inside depicting scenes from Swiss history. Walking across it hand in hand at dusk, when the water goes golden and the surrounding mountains catch the last light, is the kind of moment people travel across the world to find. What makes Lucerne ideal for couples is its perfect scale. It is large enough to have world-class restaurants, opera, and art galleries. The Rosengart collection alone houses an extraordinary assembly of Picasso and Klee. But it is small enough that you will never feel lost or rushed. You can walk the entire old town in an afternoon and spend the evening on a lake cruise watching the Alps slowly circle around you in the fading light. The surrounding Lake Lucerne region offers day excursions that are almost unfairly beautiful. A rack railway up Mount Rigi, called the Queen of the Mountains since the 19th century, takes you above the cloud layer to views that stretch across 5 countries on a clear day. Couples who make that ascent together tend to remember it for a long time. Zermatt. No list of romantic Switzerland is complete without Zermatt, and no explanation of Zermatt is complete without beginning with the Matterhorn. There is no mountain on Earth quite like it. The perfect pyramidal peak rising 4,478 meters above the car-free village below has been drawing romantics, artists, and dreamers for over a century. It dominates the skyline from almost every street in Zermatt. It appears in your window when you wake up. It appears again reflected in the Stellisee Lake on the hike above the village. It follows you, and somehow, rather than becoming ordinary through familiarity, it only becomes more astonishing the longer you look at it. Zermatt is entirely car-free. The only vehicles permitted in the village are small electric taxis and horse-drawn carriages. The silence this creates, in a resort town that hosts thousands of visitors, is remarkable. Couples walk the cobbled main street, browse the mountain gear and chocolate shops, and eat dinner with a direct line of sight to a peak that seems almost fictional. The Gornergrat Railway takes you up to 3,089 meters, the highest open-air railway station in Europe. At the top, on a clear day, you are surrounded by 29 peaks over 4,000 meters. It is the kind of view that recalibrates your sense of scale, of your life, your problems, your place on Earth. Couples who experience it together often describe it as unexpectedly emotional. That is the Matterhorn effect. It is real and it is powerful. Montreux and Lake Geneva. If the Alps represent one face of Swiss romance, Lake Geneva represents the other, warmer, softer, more Mediterranean in character than anywhere else in Switzerland. Montreux sits at the eastern tip of Lake Geneva beneath a microclimate so mild that palm trees grow along the promenade. The town is famous internationally for its jazz festival, but outside of July it belongs entirely to those who wander slowly. The lakeside promenade stretches for kilometers, lined with rose gardens, bronze statues, and benches positioned to face the water and the French Alps across the lake in France. The Château de Chillon sits directly on the water just outside Montreux, a medieval fortress rising straight from the lake surface as though it grew from the water itself. Couples who visit in the shoulder season, when the crowds thin, can walk the ramparts alone with views across the water that have been inspiring artists and writers since Lord Byron carved his name into one of the donjon pillars in 1816. The villages west of Montreux, Vevey, Lucerne, Grindelwald, sit within the Lavaux Vineyard Terraces, a UNESCO World Heritage landscape of vine-covered hillsides descending in perfect geometric layers to the lake's edge. Renting bicycles and cycling through these terraces on a warm afternoon, stopping at small winery cellars to taste the local Château white wine, is one of Switzerland's most quietly perfect couple experiences. Engelberg and the Swiss Alps interior. For couples who want to go deeper into Switzerland and leave the tourist circuits behind, Engelberg is the answer. Hidden in a high valley in central Switzerland, Engelberg sits beneath Mount Titlis, one of the most dramatic cable car ascents in the Alps. The rotating gondola, called the Rotaire, completes a full 360-degree revolution as it climbs, giving you a slowly evolving panorama of glaciers, ice cliffs, and plunging valleys. At the summit, couples can walk across the Titlis Cliff Walk, Europe's highest suspension bridge, with nothing between you and a 500-meter drop but wire cable and the cold alpine wind. The valley below is gentler. The old Benedictine monastery at Engelberg Center has stood since the 12th century. The meadows in summer are filled with wildflowers and the bells of grazing cattle. In winter, the slopes are quieter and less crowded than Zermatt or Grindelwald, making it ideal for couples who want the Alpine experience without the Instagram crowds. If you and your partner are dreaming about Switzerland, save this video right now. You will want to come back to it when you start planning. Drop a comment below and tell me, which destination spoke to you most? Are you an Alpine couple or a lakeside couple? I read every comment and I personally reply. And if you want more honest, deeply researched travel content for couples, subscribe and hit the bell. New destination video every single week. Start planning. The mountains are waiting.